Epilepsy is a neurological disorder that causes abnormal activities in the brain cells. It causes seizures, and a person may exhibit unusual behavior, experience abnormal sensations, and sometimes it may cause loss of awareness too. Because of this, there are many myths surrounding the condition. Even today, some people think that it is brought on by evil spirits and supernatural powers. Today, on the occasion of World Epilepsy Day, I, Jahnavi Sharma, welcome Dr. Atmaram Bansal, Associate Director, Neurology and Epilepsy, Medanta, the Medicity, Gurgaon, to clear the air about this much misunderstood disease. Dr. Bansal will address the many questions related to epilepsy, including causes, triggers, diagnosis, and treatment. Welcome, Dr. Bansal. It is a pleasure having you with us today on the occasion of World Epilepsy Day.
Thank you,
Our
Jana.
first
Thank
question of the day is, what is epilepsy? What causes epilepsy and how common is it?
you. So epilepsy is known as with the various other terms also. Like in Hindi, we say mirgi. People use seizures, convulsions, jhatke. So there are various terms. Fainting. So epilepsy, in true scientific sense, is somebody getting recurrent attacks of seizures. So if somebody is getting one more than one attack of a seizure, then it's more likely to have epilepsy.
What causes epilepsy and how common is it?
See, it's very, very common actually. The problem is people don't share that they're known to is having epilepsy. Otherwise, it's common, something like easily 5 out of 1,000 people have epilepsy. So in India, if you see the number, it reaches in many lakhs. In the world, it reaches almost a crore. It's very, very common. It's not an uncommon disease.
Okay.
Now, your question was what causes epilepsy? So it depend upon what age we are talking about. If we see the neonatal age when the baby is born, the commonest cause is suppose somebody is not getting oxygen properly during delivery. Suppose something gets stuck in the nasal airway. Few babies have other problems. So that is the commonest cause at that age. When the baby grows at 1 year, 2 year, then fever is the commonest cause of seizures. Brain infection, head injuries, brain tumors, brain infection like TB, neurocysticercosis, what commonly we say something like a worm in the brain. So these are some of the common causes of epilepsy.
Are there any triggers for epileptic seizures?
Yeah. So as we discussed that epilepsy means recurrent seizures. So there are certain triggers which are very, very well known. And one of the commonest is fever. High grade fever can trigger seizures. For a patient who is not having epilepsy, can also have seizures. Like somebody's sugar becomes very low. Somebody is having very low sodium, very low calcium. So even in those scenarios, patient can have seizure. But we know that there is a reason for that, and that is not related to brain. So we don't label them as epilepsy. That term is known as provoked seizure. While in epilepsy, somebody is having brain problem. Those patients are likely to have seizure if there is fever issue, if there is missing of medicine, if there is a sleep issue, if somebody takes alcohol or other brain stimulant, then there is a high chance of seizure.
Can stress and anxiety also cause seizures, epileptic seizures?
See, stress and anxiety will not cause seizure, but they can trigger seizures. Stress and anxiety is very, very common. That doesn't mean that man with stress will have seizure. So will cause seizures mostly in a non-patient of epilepsy. And the reason is with stress, there are brain different excitation, brain stimulation, or there is sleep deprivation. Somebody is not able to sleep properly. Then definitely there are triggers of epilepsy, even in stress, anxiety, or other things.
How long do seizures usually last in epileptic patients? And are there different kinds of seizures?
So that's a very good question because for a common man, he or she should know what is exactly a seizure. So seizure can, the commonest or the most serious time of seizure is when somebody gets full body jerks. So that is the commonest one which we see in public, somebody is able to recognize. There are certain other types when somebody just becomes stuck like a statue, a child sitting in the class, not responding for few seconds and then becomes normal. If something is happening like this 50, 20 times a day, that means it is again a case of epilepsy. There are certain seizures where somebody will become statue plus some chewing movement, hand movement. All these are also a feature of seizure. Or one side twitching, salivation, unconsciousness, tongue bite. So all these are some of the features of a seizure. Usually a seizure lasts only for about a minute or 2 minutes. And if somebody jerking, just wait 1 or 2 minutes, that should go away.
And are these seizures fatal? And what's the treatment for epilepsy?
So seizure per se, in almost more than 99% cases, subsides on its own within 1 or 2 minutes. The fatality depends upon in what circumstances it has happened. Suppose somebody is driving and can have accidents. Somebody is on a risky area where there are a lot of sharp objects, some hard objects, falls down, then yes, there is a risk. Per se, seizure in a safe zone don't produce any kind of fatality. And they produce fatality in some cases, which is quite rare. There is a term known as SUDEP, SUDEP, sudden unexpected death in epilepsy, but it's very rare.
There's another term in epilepsy that's status epilepticus. What does it mean?
So it's like that there is a term known as asthma, and term known as status asthmaticus. So what does that mean? Similarly, epilepsy and status epilepticus. Single attack is asthma attack. If the asthma attack is continuous, not responding, then it becomes status asthmaticus. If epilepsy attacks are coming and patient is not improving in between, so that becomes status epilepticus. Suppose somebody gets big seizure, has not come out of it, again get another seizure, this is status epilepticus.
And
That becomes that becomes a serious condition and emergency condition.
it can also be fatal.
It can be fatal. Yes, status epilepticus can be fatal.
And are all seizures an indication of epilepsy?
So that's what we discussed. There are certain seizures which are not counted as epilepsy. That includes seizures related to high-grade fever, which is common in pediatric population. Seizures related to low calcium, low blood sugar, low potassium. Even people having high amount of alcohol or drugs can have seizure. So these are the triggers of seizure which are not epilepsy related.
Okay, if a person is around a patient having a seizure, epileptic seizure, uh, how do that person respond to it or take care of the patient?
So that's very important because suppose you are in market or somewhere and somebody suddenly develops seizure, then what are you supposed to do? So there are some first aid things which you should know. One of the most important part is let that person be safe. So if suppose the person is lying down, make sure there are no sharp objects around him so that if he's jerking, he should not hit any sharp object. Head is jerking and suppose it's hitting the floor, you can support it like this or put some soft thing. And don't try to jump and hold the hands and legs if somebody is jerking. Because suppose I am jerking and somebody holds my hand, there can be shoulder dislocation. So let it jerk. Usually within 1 or 2 minutes, it will go away. You can turn the person to one side. And the advantage is suppose some saliva is there, that will come out on side and it won't go inside the lungs. And if you are 2-3 people, you can ask one of the person to make a video. And the advantage is you can show it to your doctor. You can give it to the patient who can show it to the doctor, and we can understand what type of seizure it was, what type of epilepsy it was.
In epilepsy, we also often hear the word aura. What does it mean?
Yeah. So aura is something like a warning sign. So some of the people have that warning sign. They are able to understand that they are going to get attacked. So, and that depend upon which point of the brain is getting that abnormality. So like somebody is having a problem in the parietal part of the brain, which is our sensory area. In that case, the patient will feel some sensation on one side of the body before the big attack. Somebody may feel just something is coming up in the tummy, some discomfort or some fear kind of feeling, or some discomfort in the chest area. That is more common in temporal lobe. Another one is like somebody is not able to see something on one side, or some abnormal visual things are coming on the one side of the field, like a curtain, that becomes occipital lobe. So these are various auras which are described in epilepsy, and that helps us in knowing what particular point of the brain is abnormal.
Will a person with epilepsy have, it's a brain disorder. So does it mean that they'll have developmental disabilities or any psychological difficulties or problems?
So fortunately, almost 90-95% of the patient with epilepsy are otherwise very well working person with absolutely normal brain. We do have patients who are senior doctors, nursing staffs, engineers, businessmen, bankers, Supreme Court lawyers. So we do have all kind of patients. The problem is people link this with psychotic problem. There is no direct link of epilepsy with psychiatric problem or mental illness. It's a brain problem. It's not a mental problem. And most of the cases, just treating epilepsy, patient becomes absolutely normal.
What about driving? Can a patient of epilepsy drive a car, take up sports, exercise?
That's a very good question, because now with the new era, people feel independent when they drive. They have their own vehicle. In most of the developed countries, if you don't have seizure after for 6 months and you are taking your medicines, you are allowed to drive. Unfortunately, as per Indian law, there is no such classification. There is only a single term: do you have epilepsy? If you click yes, you are not allowed to drive. So, if through some social or some legal authorities can be approached and we can modify that law, that if somebody is well controlled, somebody is taking medication, that person at least should be able to drive his own vehicle. I'm not saying the commercial vehicle, like any developed country, that can be something considered. Practically, driving should not be an issue in a patient whose epilepsy is well controlled.
What about exercise, sports?
Yeah. So even there are issues people say about swimming. No doubt that swimming, if you are having seizure during swimming, that can be a bit risky. But if somebody is supervising you, some family member is there with you, and if you get attacked, if takes you out, it's safe. So we do say that you can swim, but do it with some supervision. Similarly for sports, if you know John T. Rhodes, he was a very famous fielder of South Africa. He's even now IPL coach of some one of the franchises. He's a very good fielder and very good batsman also. He was having epilepsy, and he played like anything. So we do have many sports people who had epilepsy. So those people came out of it and could play well without any problem. So everything is allowed, but there should be some kind of a safety margin.
Are there any ways by which a person can lessen the effect of a seizure?
Yes. So suppose you are having epilepsy and you take your medicine regularly, you sleep properly, it's very, very less likely that you will have any side effect or any major issues with your life. So seizures won't affect you if you are having a disciplined life.
Can diet and lifestyle prevent epilepsy? Lifestyle changes?
Lifestyle changes are important. Like as I mentioned, that discipline means sleeping at fixed time, taking proper 7 hours sleep, avoiding alcohol or any kind of sedatives or any kind of drugs or other things. So these are important.
Okay, Dr. Bansal, as we come to the end of this interaction, is there anything more that you would like to add for our viewers?
So what I can say is that try to understand what is epilepsy. if you have somebody who is having this problem, so in that scenario, don't take that person as a negative person, as a person who is having some kind of inferiority. He is a normal person. He is at par with you. We do have seen social issues, especially like marriage and other things with the patient with epilepsy. So even married life is totally successful. There are no issues like it's not that it will go to the next generation, it will affect your brain or anything like that. The next baby will be normal.
Thank you, Dr. Bansal,
Thank
for
you.
being with us today. This was quite informative, actually, and it will help our viewers also and caregivers of patients also. So
You
I'm
can
sure
just
our viewers
rectify.
will agree with me when I say that you have really helped us understand this disorder better.